an all-time high by the end of the year. It's been a morning. I'm tired. I have to catch a flight. It's the craziest thing. But anyways, welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto every single day. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, set alerts so you continue to get all your up-to-date news. And of course, drop me a comment. I read it. And I normally live stream at 10:30 a.m. PT Monday through Friday, but I do have to catch a flight to go film a documentary, which will be very, very interesting. So schedule's going to be a little bit off, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into it for you guys. So first and foremost, let's cover the XRP news. Hashdex files to add more cryptos to its crypto index fund. Crypto ETF issuer Hashdex filed with the SEC to expand its hashtag NCIQ crypto index fund. It's an ETP providing market cap exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum by tracking the Nasdaq Crypto US Settlement Price Index. So again, it is listed there, which is important because again, it just kind of shows legitimacy. So the fund currently only holds Bitcoin and Ethereum from the Nasdaq price index, but they do want to add other Nasdaq crypto index assets that meet new SEC generic listing standards. The other assets in the Nasdaq price index: XRP, Solana, ADA, Cardano, Link, Avalanche, Litecoin, and Uniswap. One of the interesting things here that I think from this particular story, the takeaway, yes, XRP is going to be one of them. A lot of the stuff I hold, so pretty much all of them except for Uni. I don't have Uni. But I think the key takeaway here is going to be that says it can add them because of the new regulation or the new SEC generic listing standards. And I believe that listing standard is if you've had a successful, oh my God, I'm so tired. If you had an successful futures ETF that you can go ahead and apply and whatnot. So again, that's important. This is why building a solid foundation with regulation and all of this news is important. We talk about it a lot because without these approvals, without rules, regulations, and even just really guidance, you don't move an industry forward. And I understand that it's completely backwards because we're talking about crypto and Bitcoin, which is supposed to operate in a true decentralized economy. But realistically, at the end of the day, you can't just do things. Many people think that they can just do things, but that's not the way the world works. So unfortunately, for everybody in Bitcoin and crypto, that cannot be governed. You very much can be governed because there's rules and regulations. So again, this is going to be wonderful for XRP long-term and all these other crypto assets and just in general. So that's good. Now, it looks like there was a CEO from traditional finance, More Markets. Alan Tutter says XRP could surge 73% to $5 by the end of the year. He noted that XRP reclaimed $3 just ahead of the Rex Osprey launch, signaling early investor optimism, and does believe the ETF exposure will magnify interest in XRP, boosting price momentum. It says the success of XRP's price surge now depends on sustained market demand, not the new ETF approvals alone. When I initially read this, I thought it was, they were talking about the Rex Osprey price for the ETF, but either way, I do think that XRP will double in price once we get into like a big, the real bull market, altcoin season, etc. But it's going to take time, just like everything. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, XRP is not pumping, but they fail to look at the history of the chart and see that we actually pumped from like 50 cents to $3 already, which is good. But again, the ETFs are immensely important, primarily because of, it actually allows for the institutions and for the banks and the hedge funds and everybody else in between to kind of get involved with this type of stuff in a legal manner. Now, SEC approves Grayscale Ethereum's ETFs under new generic listing framework. This this also kind of corresponds with what's going on in the initial story of XRP being added to the Hashdex file. So the SEC approved amendments allowing Grayscale's Ethereum Trust and Ethereum Mini Trust ETFs to list under NYSE ARCA's new generic rule. The rule is 8.201-E, and it simplifies the listing process by moving from non-generic to generic standards. Framework enables certain commodity-based trusts to list without individual SEC proposal if requirements are met. Grayscale may use this pathway to launch ETFs much faster, which again, Grayscale kind of led the Grayscale kind of led the initiative to get the Bitcoin and the Ethereum spot ETFs approved. So this is really, really, really good news in my personal opinion. So again, more stuff. And unfortunately, we do have some bearish BlackRock news for the Bitcoin spot ETF. With that being said, is that bearish sentiment with the ibit stays strong for 2 months straight. And this is according to CoinDesk. Now, with that being said, we are seeing Bitcoin kind of like chill a little bit when it does come to price action. We actually dropped. We hit that bottom support about $111,000. We pop back up. We're kind of just hanging on. Many traders and analysts, they are anticipating for a bigger drop, possibly sub $100,000. I do see support around 107, 108,000. Personally, for me, I'm not doing a whole lot of trading right now, more the spot stuff, longer term swings. But even if Bitcoin was to drop below that crucial support around $111,000, I wouldn't be too terribly upset about it because I'm holding this long term. Bitcoin is probably one of the only assets I will continue to hold long term, just because I think it will continue to thrive. With that being said, hold on one second. There's another story about Mr. Michael Saylor here. So Mr. Michael Saylor came out and he said that he anticipates a year-end Bitcoin rally, and he said this live on CNBC. He said it's going to rally toward the end of 2025 as macro headwinds ease. And this is because of institutional corporate demand exceeds supply. ETFs and companies are buying approximately 3,185 Bitcoin per day versus 900 mined daily. Basically say buy pressure is building, likely to drive price upwards, which makes complete sense. So with that being said, we should see Bitcoin price pump. But again, he is he is actively invested in Bitcoin like most of us are. He's got all of these stocks that are essentially tied to his company, which has built their business on buying Bitcoin, which is always very interesting to me because it's like a centralized entity doing that. But I do hope that we get our Bitcoin pump. And I don't know, I think that we possibly will get a pump if we do get all the crypto spot ETFs approved, in my personal opinion. Now, I just don't know how long this rally is going to last. And I think that that's a fair assessment. The reason why is because we can look at charts and we can kind of analyze if numbers going to go up, if it's going to go down, in that aspect. But really at the end of the day, there's a lot of catalysts that we're currently kind of waiting to happen to hopefully start to push things in the right direction. And if those catalysts don't happen when other people anticipate it, number could potentially go down. So there's a lot of stuff happening. And good morning to Mr. Dale and Mr. Mixing. Another thing that I want to add on here is the US M2 money supply hits new all-time high of $22.2 trillion. M2, the money supply, is a measure of total amount of money in circulation, including cash, checks, deposits, saving account, and other easily convertible near money assets. So with that being said, I'm not worried at all about the market. Whatever happens, happens. So why is this bad? Well, this is bad is because we are able to print money. We have all of this economic uncertainty with the tariffs and with all these different things happening. So things could get a little bit interesting and scary. Plus, we still do have high inflation. One of the things we've talked about the show since the very, 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 very beginning, once they started with the whole inflation thing, was that you can increase and decrease interest rates. Those are transitory, but the cost of living does not go down, and we're seeing that happen. And there were reports that came out saying that wages would have to increase like 60%, or house prices would need to decrease by 40% for people to actually get into homes and things to be affordable. Meatball Wednesday. I actually have some vodka sauce meatballs in the freezer, but no, I have to catch a flight. I have to go to, I'm going to go to an MSM overseas to do a documentary. So my car's going to be here soon. So I probably should get ready. I was going to do Pilates, but I kind of ran out of time. So that's kind of what's happening with the news today, you guys. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. I need to go get my stuff together and then go sit in the car for 2 hours and then the airport for like 3 hours because it's an international flight, and then go. But sending you guys love and light. Thank you so much for supporting me. I've got content for you guys scheduled 2 p.m. PT every single day. Then the entire news wrap up. There'll be a lot more news topics we didn't get to touch today at 6 p.m. PT. I should be live streaming tomorrow and possibly Friday. Sending you guys love and light. Thank you so much. Mwah.